Hey, welcome to Polish with Ray. I'm Rachel, and today I'm going to be sharing with you part 2 of the From Blood and Ash collection from Bee's Knees Lacquer. Before we get started, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. That lets me know you like my content and it supports Bee's Knees Lacquer too. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe. I upload new live swatching videos every week. So part 2 of the From Blood and Ash collection includes 8 beautiful polishes. We get 2 beautiful shimmers. We get 3 pastel multichromes, 2 more shimmers, and these 2 are actually siblings to a polish I love from Bee's Knees called Doomicorn. We also get a stunning linear holographic, which you can see I'm wearing today. The collection will launch for pre-order on September 27th at noon Eastern Standard Time, and it'll be available through September 3rd. All right, we have 8 beautiful polishes to look at today, so let's go ahead and get into the swatches. The first one we're going to take a look at is called Bad Influence, and it's described as being a baby pink pastel multichrome that shifts from deep raspberry to orange to green, and you can see all of that incredible shiftiness happening here in the bottle. This is one of the most beautiful bottles of polish I think I've ever seen. I'm surprised they described the base as being a baby pink. To me, it is borderline white, but all of that incredible multichrome shimmer shows up bright raspberry pink in bright lighting, which you see here, and then in lower lighting it does shift from orange and green sometimes to blue. It's so pretty. This polish, as well as quite a few of the others in this collection, are recommended to either wear on their own or with a blurring base coat. So I'm going to show you what both of those options look like. I'm also going to show you what they look like swatched over black. So in the center here, you can see what it looks like over a blurring base coat. On the right is going to be on its own. And then of course on the left is going to be over black. So in 2 coats, you can see we're getting a decent amount of opacity. I don't see too much nail line on the nail that doesn't have a blurring base coat, and it's starting to disappear completely with a blurring base coat. We're going in for the 3rd coat now. It is fully opaque on the nail with the blurring base coat and just a little bit of nail line showing without. Here's what it looks like over black. How gorgeous is that raspberry shimmer? Holy cow. Oh, this makes a really pretty topper over black. So let's take a look at what they look like up close. Here's what it looks like over black. You can see that shift to green, some coral and orange in there. Here's what it looks like over the blurring base coat. No nail line is visible. And then here's what it looks like in 3 coats on its own, just a little bit of VNL. Now we're looking at 3 coats, no blurring base coat with a top coat and some lower outdoor lighting, and it just looks gold. We see shifts to pink, to green. It's so pretty. Pictured are 3 coats of Bad Influence with no blurring base coat and a glossy top coat. Next, we have another pastel multichrome. This one's called Soul Eater, and it's described as being a sky blue pastel multichrome that shifts from cobalt to purple to pink. So many of my favorite colors. This one can also be worn either on its own or a blurring base coat, and it's going to retail for $13 too. So this one, I definitely see a sky blue base. I feel like there's just a little bit of yellow in there too. Just the base has kind of a yellow lean to it. But what really is super striking is that gorgeous cobalt shimmer in bright lighting, which you're seeing right here. And then as you move your hand around in lower lighting, of course, we can see the purple and pink as well. I was pleased to see that this one was also packed with that beautiful multichrome shimmer. We don't get much base color here on the 1st coat, but we do get a ton of that gorgeous bluey purple shimmer. It's beautiful. I will say, out of all of the shimmers in this release, this one actually, out of all the polishes in this release, this one was maybe the most sheer. Even built up in 3 coats, I could still see a considerable amount of nail line without a blurring base coat, and with a blurring base coat I could still see my blurring base coat showing through, if that makes sense. I didn't love this one layered over a blurring base coat for that reason. However, I did love it layered over black. Look at this. Gasp. Gasp. So pretty. So pretty. So let's look at what it looks like up close. Here's what it looks like over black, and we can see that shift to blue. Here's what it looks like over the blurring base coat. And then here's what it looks like built up in 3 coats on its own. Here's what it looks like built up in 3 coats, no blurring base coat with a glossy top coat, and the glow of this shimmer is just unreal. You can see it shifting to pink, blue, purple. Oh, it's really pretty. Pictured are 3 coats of Soul Eater without a blurring base coat and with a glossy top coat. Next, we're looking at I have so many questions, and this one's described as being an aqua pastel multi-chrome that shifts from emerald green to blue to purple. This one also can be worn on its own or over a blurring base coat or over black, which I'm going to show you, and it too will retail for $13. So like the two before it, this one is just so incredibly glowy. I feel like because of that emerald green shift that we're seeing so brightly in there under bright lighting, that the base of this one almost looks a little seafoamy instead of aqua. But when I look at the base away from the green shift, I can definitely see that blue aqua color. On application, all of these are just so incredibly easy to work with. They go on smooth, even, they dry down with no brush strokes. You get a lot of the multi-chrome shimmer out. And Bee's Knees Lacquer, if you haven't used them before, has a phenomenal wide flat brush. I love it. It makes application so easy. So this one applied very similar, I feel like, to Bad Influence, the first one we saw. In 3 coats, it was almost fully opaque with no blurring base coat. In bright lighting, you could still see a little bit of nail line, but in lower lighting, I only saw nail line if I was looking for it. With a blurring base coat, it was fully opaque in 3. So we're going on with that 3rd coat now. How glowy is that emerald green shimmer? Oh, it's so pretty. So over black, this one was gorgeous too. You can see that green shimmer popping even more. And we can see a lot of the aqua over black as well. Absolutely stunning. So let's take a look at what these look like up close. Here's what it looks like over black, and you can see the shift to purple there too. Here's what it looks like over a blurring base coat. This is how I would wear this one. And then here's what it looks like on its own in 3 coats. You can see the nail line, but not that much. And then here's what it looks like in 3 coats, no blurring base coat with a glossy top coat and lower outdoor lighting. So incredibly luminous, all of the gorgeous shifts. This one and a lot of these polishes actually give me major springtime vibes, but I love it. Here are 3 coats of I Have So Many Questions with no blurring base coat and a glossy top coat. Moving on to Uncomfortably Curious. This one's described as being a bright coral with glowy green shimmer and micro flakes. This one, it says, is going to dry with some texture, so a glossy top coat is recommended, and it will also retail for $13. So those micro flakes in here must be micro flakes, because I don't really see them, to be honest, and I did not have much texture, if any texture at all, on the nail when this polish dried down. I always use a glossy top coat, but just note that, I mean, your experience may vary. Maybe you will have a bit of texture, maybe you will see, or maybe you do see the flakes more than I do. Regardless, this was one of my favorite polishes in this collection. I actually would say maybe I have 3 favorites, so this would be in 3rd place. It's so pretty. I love the base color paired with that glowy green shimmer. It's so bright, it's so contrasting. It's lovely. So here on the 2nd coat, you can see we're starting to get a better buildup of that base color. We can see more of the coral, and that shimmer just gets more and more brilliant as we add more coats. And on the 3rd coat here, you can see there's basically no visible nail line, even without a blurring base coat. With a blurring base coat, this one was completely opaque in 3 coats. And then when you put this one over black, it completely transforms. You get all of that incredible green shimmer. Oh, this one is, yeah, deserves to be in my top 3 for sure. It's so pretty. So here's what it looks like over black, and you get to see lots of beautiful shiftiness. Here's what it looks like over a blurring base coat, my preferred way to wear this one. And then here's what it looks like in 3 coats on its own. Honestly, not much visible nail line. And you can see that here when it's built up in 3 coats, no blurring base coat. It doesn't say in the description, but do you see how this one also shifts to like a more bubblegummy pink? I feel like I see some blue in there too. This one is stunning. Pictured are 3 coats of Uncomfortably Curious, no blurring base coat with a glossy top coat. Next, we're taking a look at Blood of the Gods, which I think is a hilariously intense name for such a bright, fun, playful shade. But this one is described as being the pink sister to Dumicorn with the same bright green to aqua shimmer, and it's going to retail for $12. So Dumicorn was a polish that was released in Polish Pickup earlier this year from Bee's Knees Lacquer, and this one has the same bright green shimmer, and you can see at the top there, it shifts to aqua too. Application for this one was just beautiful as well. I don't know that I've met many Bee's Knees Lacquer polishes that haven't been just so beautiful to apply. It basically goes on its own. And again, we see such a gorgeous large size shimmer pigment in here that it does do a little bit of blurring for the nail line. In 3 coats, without a blurring base coat, I could see a little bit of visible nail line, and then without a blurring base coat, it was fully opaque, and that is my preferred way to wear this one. It also looks incredible over black. You get all of that green to aqua glow. So here's what it looks like up close. You can see it shift from green to aqua. Here's what it looks like over a blurring base coat, fully opaque and really gorgeous. And then here's what it looks like with 3 coats and no blurring base coat. On the full hand swatch and outdoor lower lighting, you can see some visible nail line, but this one is just so beautiful. I did think in the bottle it looked a little similar to Uncomfortably Curious, so at the end of the video, I will show a side-by-side on a swatch wheel of all the polishes in this collection. Pictured are 3 coats of Blood of the Gods with no blurring base coat and a glossy top coat. This is the other sibling shade to Dumicorn. It's called To Take Back What Is Mine, and it's described as being a cornflower blue sister to Dumicorn with the same bright green to aqua shimmer. It's also going to retail for $12. I feel like this one is going to be a favorite among many. A lot of people love cornflower blues, and again, the shimmer in here is just so glowy and luminous. I love it. By the way, a little warning, I swatched this completely out of order. I don't know what was going on. But this one was more sheer than I was expecting. I thought that since it had more of a mid-tone base, it would be more opaque than Blood of the Gods, the pink sibling polish, but it was actually quite sheer. However, in 3 coats, I did almost reach full opacity without a blurring base coat, and that's what you're looking at here is 3 coats. Initially, I thought this one wouldn't work with my blurring base coat. The blurring base coat I'm using, by the way, is in the description box, but it does lean slightly yellow, so I thought that would affect the end result of what this polish looked like in 3 coats. I was afraid it would turn that blue base that's so beautiful and cornflowery to lean a little bit more yellow, maybe giving it a green effect. But in the end, you'll see built up in 3 coats, it does reach full opacity with a blurring base coat and looks just beautiful built up in 3. You also see it swatched over black now, and it's so pretty over black as well. I think it's interesting, a lot of these have a gorgeous green shimmer, and over black you get a very similar effect with a lot of the different colors. So here's what it looks like over black. We got a green to aqua shift. Here's what it looks like over a blurring base coat. So pretty. This is how I'd wear this one. And then here's what it looks like in 3 coats without a blurring base coat. Also really pretty. In lower lighting, outdoors, without a blurring base coat, here's what it looks like. And I love the shift to blue and green. Oh, this one is gorgeous too. Pictured are 3 coats of To Take Back What Is Mine with no blurring base coat and a glossy top coat. Next, we're taking a look at my second favorite polish in this collection. As usual, I did save my very favorite for last, so make sure you stick around so you don't miss it. This one is called Lamea. We're going to go with it, Lamea. And it's described as being a rich violet base with a jewel-toned shimmer that shifts green to blue to purple. This one comes with a warning that it very well may stain your nails, so they strongly recommend a base coat. It's going to retail for $12. So I was surprised seeing the description that it had a violet base. On my nails most of the time, it looks like it has a blue base that has a strong shift to purple, to green, to turquoise. It is even more phenomenal than it comes off on camera. You yes, in person, this one is just stunning. And you can see that here on the first coat. It is almost fully opaque on that first coat, and that shimmer is so bright against that deep base. It's amazing. On the second coat here, we do reach full opacity. It's perfection. So here's what it looks like on the full hand swatch in some lower outdoor lighting, and you can see that gorgeous deep base. To me, it does look a little bit more blue than it does purple, and then the gorgeous turquoisey green shimmer. In person, you can see more of a purple shimmer than you do on my camera. And then here's what it looks like in the sunlight. So sparkly and just amazing. This one is incredible. Pictured are 2 coats of Lamea with a glossy top coat. And the final polish in this collection, and my absolute 100% favorite, is Elementals. It's described as being a dark, honey-colored linear hollow, and the price for this one's going to be $13. This is the polish so many of you asked about in my China Glaze Extra Stellar review. If you haven't seen that, I'll link it up in the cards. I also wore this in my Hella Handmade Creations live stream a few weeks ago. I got so many comments on those videos. What is on your nails? What is on your nails? Well, it was this. And I wore this polish for 4 to 5 days because I couldn't take it off. It is beautiful. The hollow flame is just absolutely insane. Bee's Knees Lacquer does linear hollows so well, and yes, this is the must-have from this collection in my opinion. On application, it's so smooth and easy to work with. Basically opaque in 1 coat, although I did go in for 2 and of course reached full opacity. I love that they describe the base color as being a dark honey. I almost want to say it's very orangey with some more honey-like or bronzy copper undertones. But either way, here's what it looks like in the sunlight. And can you see why I couldn't take it off now? It's amazing, especially as we go into fall. Pictured are 2 coats of Elementals with a glossy top coat. So now let's take a look at all the polishes swatched side by side. This is in some lower outdoor lighting. So from left to right, we've got Bad Influence. Then the second one with the blue shimmer is Soul Eater. The one with the strong green shimmer and light base is I Have So Many Questions. The one with the more corally base is Uncomfortably Curious. Then the pinker one beside that is Blood of the Gods. The lighter blue shade is To Take Back What Is Mine. These are all in 3 coats, by the way, with a glossy top coat. Then next we have Lamea. That's the deep blue. And there at the end we have Elementals. So that was part 2 of the From Blood Nash collection from Bee's Knees Lacquer. Let me know in the comments which of these polishes were standouts for you, and do you think you'll be picking any of them up? And if you're in the mood to see some more gorgeous polishes be swatched, you should check out some of my recent videos. I recently live swatched and reviewed the China Glaze Halloween 2021 collection called Extra Stellar. I also live swatched and reviewed 20 items that will be available for this month's Hella Handmade Creations shop. And I live swatched and reviewed Wildflower Lacquer's Up a Creek Collections Volume 4 and 5. I'll leave those videos linked in the description box so you can check them out if you want to. I hope today's video was helpful for you and that you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!